Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Day of Dragons video. This video is for those of you who don't quite know what to do while we wait for the update. I put together a list of features and activities currently in the game to give you some ideas to keep the game fresh. There has also been a dev update recently, so I'll be covering the things the devs have said about the new map and the new dragons, so stick around to the end to hear that. But first, let's see how you can keep the game entertaining in preparation for the 1.0 update next year. The first thing is probably the obvious one for those who are not brand new to the game, and that's alder mushroom hunting. For those of you who don't know, whether you're new or yet to play, your dragons start off as hatchlings. Stay alive long enough and you'll grow to juvenile and eventually adult, with growth times varying by species. Once you reach adult, natural growth severely slows down, but by eating special mushrooms you can speed up progress towards the next stage, alder. The mushrooms you need to eat depend on the species. These yellow ones are for acid spitter drakes, or ASDs as they are known in the in-game chat, and it will take roughly 45 of these to reach alder. I say roughly because every 12 hours your dragon will grow towards alder and the growth will be 1 mushroom's worth, meaning without the mushrooms you would need to log on every 12 hours for 22.5 days for the acid spitter, so the mushrooms really speed things up. These yellow mushrooms can be found in the alder forest, the island, the crater, the cave, paradise, and the lime/glade forest lake north of the alder forest, sometimes called the swamp. In all but 2 of these locations, blue mushrooms can also spawn, but be careful not to eat these. If you need the blue mushrooms removed so a yellow can spawn there, ask a shadow scale or switch to one yourself. Which brings me to the shadow scale mushrooms. As I said, many of these locations can spawn yellow or blue and sometimes green, which only heal, so it's best to eat these so the rare mushrooms can spawn. A blue mushroom can also be found at the island, but not in the same place as the yellow that can be found here. The blue one can be found at Paradise, Lime Grove, Alder Forest, Crater, and Pride Rock, which is nestled in among the northeast redwood forest. You'll need 60 blue mushrooms to get your shadow scale to Alder, or log on every 12 hours for 30 days. Shadow scales are also known as SS in the in-game chat. The Flamestalker is both easier and more difficult than the other 2. Its orange mushroom can be found only in the ravine. There are more than 15 spawn locations, with 5 of them being permanent spawns, whereas the others can be green or orange. This makes things easier as you don't have to travel over the whole map searching, but as it takes 80 mushrooms to reach alder, it can be a daunting task, especially if there is competition, and if you want to take the mushroomless route, it will take 40 days. It's also worth noting that you will have to eat at least 1 mushroom in order to reach alder, and also gain the 4th mutation point. Flamestalkers are also known as FS in the in-game chat. With dozens of servers allowing you to play all 3 species, it's no surprise that aldering is one of the most popular pastimes. But once you reach alder, there are still fun activities. If you have good stats, you can pass them on to other players looking to get high stat dragons of their own to alder. Many players use their alders to give new players a better chance. You can make many friends this way, and if you're lucky, you could even get a clan invite. Clans are very useful in Day of Dragons. Not only do many clans reserve the best stats and skins for their clanmates, but in PvP servers they are the best way to stay alive. Playing games with other people always makes it more enjoyable, and with some clans having over 100 or even 200 members, it's safe to say you'll always have someone to fly around, mushroom hunt, or just relax with. If you're just starting out, you'll likely have very bad stats. Typically, many people's goals are to have as many A++ stats as possible, the max currently being 9 with a further 9+ stats. Some people may have more, but this was from before breeding was nerfed to produce fewer ++ stats. Having someone nest you again to improve your stats is known as upstatting. Alder Dragons have the best chance to give you these maxed out stats, but the chances are low, so it may take quite a few tries before you get these kinds of stats. 3 or 4 ++ stats is usually sufficient for most people, but it's a fun challenge to get those high stat dragons. Another reason to get nested in by other players is to get a skin you really want. Some skins are common and can be acquired simply by spawning in yourself, but some can only be crafted or passed down from other players. The Overo and Lumalan skins can be acquired by having one melanistic and one leucistic parent, or by having a parent that is already Overo or Lumalan. Crimson skins are Patreon only, but you can also get them by being nested as well. While hunting for skins and stats, it's best to have the same people do it and make it known you want a certain skin and stats. Jumping from one nest to another getting different skins and stats is known as egg hopping, and can be irritating to other players as eggs take a long time to incubate, and no one likes to waste them on someone who won't keep their dragon for long. You can have a different skin for every server, so this is a way to avoid this issue. If you enjoy the role-playing aspect of these games, then there are dedicated servers for it. I've played several of these servers and they can range from simply engaging with each other as if you were the dragon, all the way to having clan territories, planning raids and wars, and recruiting new players before the other clans to keep your numbers high for both offense and defense. Role-playing can be fun, as many of these servers have rules that make the game fun and fair, such as taking turns hunting for alder mushrooms, and in the case of PvP servers, some have no hatchling killing rules to protect new players. PvP servers can be a fun way to mix it up if you only play PvE. As I said, many non-official servers have rules preventing hatchlings from being killed, which gives you a chance to grow and be able to protect yourself. Having to be on the lookout just adds to the enjoyment. This is also the best way to practice battle both on the ground and in the air. Scaleworks currently has a deathmatch server where you spawn as an Alder with A++ stats in everything but endurance, giving you the chance to go all out and practice combat without having to worry about losing a dragon you put time and effort into raising. Becoming a skilled fighter will make stronger clans more likely to recruit you to protect their territory. Practicing flying can also be beneficial. Flying out in the open is easy, but flying through forests at high speeds without crashing takes skill, and can be the difference between losing a fight or escaping, or using the trees to get the edge on your opponent. If any of these activities sound fun, but you worry about other people ruining your experience, you can even start your own server. While this option isn't for everyone, it gives you the control you need to give yourself a fun experience while playing. Having your own server also gives you access to admin privileges, such as quick growth to juvenile or adult, teleporting, or even slaying other players to help with rare skin hunting. No matter what you choose to do, making connections with other players will be beneficial when the update is released. For those who couldn't back the game through Kickstarter, befriending those who did will help you get dragons you couldn't normally get. Even on PvE servers, the new map will be full of danger, and having allies will help to not only keep you alive, but keep the game fun. Now let's move on to the dev update that was posted recently. The first thing that sticks out here is that when parts of the game are ready, a closed test server will allow Patreons and testers to comb through the game to find any bugs that need fixing. If you want to be a part of this, it seems that Patreons will have access to it, so you could be one of the first to see the new additions. Once that initial test is finished and polished, the devs will move on to a public test server to allow players to test a new update on their own servers. The good news is that the current game will still be available as a legacy server, so all the hard work many players have put in over the years won't be going to waste, and the servers will only be shut down when no one is using the server anymore. There is still no exact release date on the update, but the adult animations will be finished by late January, with the youth sets taking a further 1 to 2 weeks each. Given that we will be getting 5 new playable species, and assuming the swamp snapper is included in this time frame, it could take 5 to 10 weeks to finish these. Assuming another month of testing, polishing and balancing, we can expect the release to be between mid-May and the end of June, depending on the number of bugs and patches required. While this is certainly later than most of us expected, I think we can all agree that given the choice between a polished, finished game and a buggy mess, we would all prefer the polished version. We've also been given these beautiful animations for the Bio Dragon, Inferno Ravager, and Blitz Striker, and the sit animation is just too perfect. As for the new additions to the map, we are seeing some incredible areas beginning to come to life. The glowing cave we see here will likely be a hotspot for players, and the cave systems are really starting to come together. Outside the caves, we are seeing a lot more details coming together. The lower right side of the map is the main focus for the team right now, which will include the volcano. I'm looking forward to seeing this map come alive once the details begin to be added. And that's everything for today. Whether you're new to Day of Dragons or a seasoned hunter, I hope there was something in this video to give you a reason to load up the game. If you made it to the end, I want to thank you for your support, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.